So the Uncharted movie released this year gave us a new take on Naughty Dog's flagship character, and while I thought the movie was enjoyable, many don't seem to think so, as the movie currently sits at 41% on Rotten Tomatoes. Although it does have an audience score of 90%, so it does seem a few people did in fact enjoy the movie. So I want to ask the question, what should an Uncharted sequel include? So the end credit scenes from the Uncharted movie seem to tease two things. The first of these being Nate and Sully's next adventure, which might have something to do with the Nazis and World War II, which seems intriguing to me. The Nazis have actually been mentioned here and there in the games, with them apparently being tasked to find El Dorado and Shambhala in the video game history. So I think seeing some story where the Germans were hunting the big MacGuffin for the sequel would be intriguing to see. The second scene in the movie teases Sam Drake's reunion with Nate, which has been taken from Uncharted 4. In Uncharted 4, we see Nate, Sam, and the villain of that game, Rafe Adler, in a Panamanian jail. The three do make an escape attempt. Nate and Rafe do escape, but Sam is shot and he is incarcerated for the remainder of the game's Drake's Fortune, Golden Abyss, I think. Not sure how the timeline works out there. But he's also in prison for the time the Drake's Deception and Among Thieves take place as well. So, should the Uncharted films somehow make it to a third movie, then I could see Sam and Nate teaming up to fight the villain of that movie. So when it came to the extended cast of the Uncharted franchise, the movie gave us Victor Sullivan, Samuel Drake in a few flashbacks, and of course Chloe Fraser. But with this movie, I'd love to see Sony explore some other characters in this world. For example, during his early years in the treasure hunting game, Nathan met characters like Harry Flynn, Jason Dante, and Rafe Adler, all of whom eventually become bad guys during the events of the games. But if these movies are leading into a version of what we see in the games themselves, then I think we should see how Nathan comes to meet these characters and foreshadowing their eventual turn to the dark side. No one make a Star Wars joke now. Do it. Now, the Uncharted movie gave us some pretty half-decent villains, with this movie giving us villains similar to Rafe and the Dean from Uncharted 4, but does this mean we'll end up seeing other villains from the games pop up in some capacity? The Uncharted post-credit scene did tease Gabriel Roman from Uncharted Drake's Fortune, plus I'd be willing to bet that there are versions of Lazarevich, Talbot and Marlowe somewhere in this world, so let's see if the movies will bring them in or just create new villains based around those characters in general. Elena Fisher is Nathan's primary love interest and has been a permanent fixture in the Uncharted games continuity, appearing in the 4 main games in at least some capacity. One thing that's actually been asked from time to time is whether the Uncharted movies will bring Elena into the fold and introduce her into the movies. I'm gonna say it's a huge possibility given her popularity in the games, but if we're gonna see Elena, then I could see her maybe being a cameo or a throwaway reference. The Uncharted Eye of Indra motion comic, which takes place just before the first game, implies that Nathan has contacted Elena with the promise of Sir Francis Drake's coffin, and that's what we see them doing at the beginning of Drake's Fortune. So my best assumption is that if the Uncharted films make it to a third movie, then I can see Nate calling Elena Fisher with an offer to see the coffin of Francis Drake. If the filmmakers want to go in a different direction and maybe take parts of all the games, then introduce Elena into the sequel, which I for one would be absolutely fine with. I think Elena is a fantastic character in the games. So in conclusion, I think if Uncharted does get a sequel, then it needs to have a cohesive story that is somewhat familiar to fans of games, and introducing characters from the games themselves could be the right way to go for a potential sequel, and maybe a third movie assuming the second one does well. Anyway, that concludes this video, so thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe. Take care and I'll see you soon. Thanks guys.